I'm Laura McGath from the Appold Planetarium at Lord's University. There's something very special happening in the sky this month, and I'd like to tell you about it. It involves two of the brighter objects in our night sky, and it will be visible as soon as the sky gets dark, so you don't have to wait up all night. You'll want to see it now, because it won't happen again for decades. So, let's meet the characters involved. Saturn is easy to identify and may be the most beautiful planet with those stunning rings. The rings are actually made of thousands of bits of rocks, dust, and ice. The main rings are so wide they could almost stretch from Earth to the Moon, yet they're less than a kilometer thick. Saturn is the most distant planet you can see from Earth without a telescope, and from this planet we get our word for Saturday. Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system, big enough to fit almost 1,300 Earths inside. Being so big, you might think that Jupiter moves slowly. Surprise! It's the fastest spinning planet in the solar system, so a day on Jupiter lasts only about 10 hours. A year, however, is much longer. Jupiter orbits the Sun every 12 Earth years. So what's happening with Saturn and Jupiter this month? It's easier to show you from far out in space, where we can see the planets orbiting the Sun. From this distance, the planets are too tiny to see, but you can see their names moving. Notice how the planets closer to the Sun move more quickly? All of the planets are moving, so sometimes two planets will appear to line up whenever we look at them from Earth. The term for that is a conjunction. And December 21st, Earth, Jupiter, and Saturn will line up, so we'll have a conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter in our sky. Now, these planets are far from the Sun. Jupiter is 484 million miles, so they appear to move very slowly in our sky. Jupiter takes 12 years to circle the Sun, while Saturn takes nearly 30 years. Because they're orbiting the Sun so slowly, conjunctions of Saturn and Jupiter only happen once every 20 years, on average. This year's conjunction is extra special, and I'd like to show you why. Let's look at our whole solar system, from Mercury out to Neptune. This is the way the solar system is usually pictured in books, but we can look at it from a different perspective. From here, the planets look like peas rolling around on a giant table. But let's look closer. From here, you can see that the orbits of the planets do not line up perfectly. Most are tilted just a little bit, but that tilt has a big effect when it comes to conjunctions. This is the position of the planets right now. And if we look at that same perspective, we can see that the orbits of Jupiter and Saturn are lined up right now, which means they'll appear extra close to us from here on Earth. Let's now watch Saturn and Jupiter from home. This is where they were on Thanksgiving. If we go from one night to the next, day by day, you can see these planets are coming closer together and lower in the sky. They will be at their closest on December 21st, which is also the winter solstice. Jupiter and Saturn will appear so close together, they'll look like a single point of light. If you look through your binoculars, then you should be able to distinguish between these two planets. So, as soon as it gets dark tonight, go outside and look to the southwest. You'll see two distant planets moving together, the Great Conjunction. After 2020, the next conjunctions of Jupiter and Saturn will be in 2040 and 2060. On both of these dates, Jupiter and Saturn will be 11 times further apart. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to hear how the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn may be related to the Christmas star, please watch the Appold Planetarium's second video. We look forward to seeing you under the stars, especially on December 21st.